Were you familiar with the play prior to getting the script and stuff like that?
Well, coincidentally, I got the script on the same day that I had gotten tickets for the show. So, the screenplay arrived, I read the screenplay, and then went to the theater.
And to kind of know that you had almost like a part in this thing, what was it like to watch it and then to imagine what kind of role you would kind of fit into the...
Well, it was interesting because, first off, I thought the play was fantastic and the acting was beautiful and it was very, dramatic and staged in a great way. I also felt like the screenplay was equally as strong. And one of the things I was pleasantly surprised about was that one of the techniques that Ron and Peter used in order to open the screenplay up was to actually give a little bit more stuff to the peripheral characters. In the stage play, it really was Frost, and Nixon, which the film is too. But I mean, they were able to build a little bit more complexity about what's going on between the relationship between myself and Nixon and Reston and Frost and Bert and all the rest of them. And that was, I was happy about that. I said to Ron that I felt really strongly that I wanted to make sure that the character was not just kind of a cookie cutter neocon, asshole kind of standing in the wings and just being a badass. It just felt a little too simplistic. And the thing that we sort of hooked onto was just this loyalty and this admiration that he has for this guy.
To play a role, because I was watching it and I couldn't help but compare it to what this current situation with Bush and people who defend him almost like totally loyal, and they may not agree with certain things, but yet they are there with him through thick and thin. To play a role like that, then, for you, what kind of angle would you have? Did you come up with that you felt that your character would do something with?
Well, first off, he's you don't see much of it in the screenplay, but he was a Marine, and when he was at the White House, he was a Marine who was stationed at the White House, and that's how Nixon met him. So they have a very, very strong sense of mission and of loyalty to the commander-in-chief, whoever that commander-in-chief is, and whatever side of the political fence he may land. So my first thing was to kind of take the political side of it out. I'm not the guy. I'm not Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Dean. I'm not one of those guys that's been with Nixon throughout the whole Watergate thing. I was basically a soldier, doing a job, and so that was what initially drew him to protect and defend Nixon. And in the course of that, when he left the White House, he brought Jack with him to San Clemente. They spent a lot of time together. He got to know the family. He got to tell stories, play golf, arrange all sorts of things in Nixon's life, public and private, and started to really just admire him and care about him. And so by the time that the Frost thing happens, that's kind of where he's at with his headspace. And again, it transcends politics.
It's nice to see, because your scenes with Frank are pretty interesting, because there's almost some humor, or there's a nice rapport that you don't see with anybody else. And so to play with somebody like Frank then, who did it on stage, and then to watch him kind of transform it on a screen, was there any difference that and if you can talk about the process?
There's a lot of differences. I mean, it's making a movie and doing a play is a completely different kind of skill set. And what was fantastic is that, if you look at Frank and Mike, they're almost over-rehearsed to do a movie. You tend to really want to keep it fresh in a film and not have 1,000 performances before you start saying the line, so that you can let the thing have an immediacy and a kind of first time, first place vibe. And so when I watched Frank, what I saw was this brilliant stage performance become a brilliant film performance. And he started in a way to kind of let go of what he had been doing on the stage and to just stay in the moment. And for instance, I mean, my relationship with him was very, very different than the relationship that he had with the character who played it on the stage. So you can't stay within your kind of vacuum, you know.
This is the second time you've worked with Ron Howard on a film, and you said this is one of the few directors that's hired you again. What was that comment about? And also, what does he bring to a table? Because I've talked to him before, and he's really sensitive, and there's really, I don't know, what are conversations like with him? And
well, for one thing, he's very, very collaborative, and, you know, and straight up and honest about what he's going to be able to do and not do in terms of, you know, the screenplay, and listens to ideas. And he's one of those people that has enough confidence about what he's doing that he's not afraid to hear other people's opinions. But he's also very much eye on the prize, very focused, extremely energetic and passionate about whatever film he's involved in. And it's infectious. It's great. You know, it comes down from the top. When you get that kind of energy coming from him, it goes to the cinematographer and to the cast and to the crew and everything. So it was fun. It rocked.
I'm glad you're in this one. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Nice talking to you.
You too.